Did you know that over 1/3 of Americans carry credit card debt yet still manage to live like they're financially secure? It's a surprising fact, but it sheds light on a bigger issue we all face: comparing our lives to those around us. It's easy to feel left behind, wondering how they can afford it all. But what if I told you that the reality is often far different from the picture-perfect lives we see online? Well, in today's video, we'll dive deep into why it seems like everyone has more money than you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Ever notice how it feels like everyone around you has more money? It's like they're living the high life while you're just getting by. But is that really the case? Let's break it down. First, we tend to overestimate how much money other people actually have. That friend with the shiny new car, they might have cut back on expenses or even gone into debt just to afford it. As the saying goes, it's dangerous to count other people's money based on what they have. Wise words, right? Also, when you compare yourself to others, you probably overlook all the things you don't already have. Think about it. It's easy to fixate on that dream vacation or fancy gadget you don't own, while the stuff you do have fades into the background. It's like having a treasure chest, but only seeing the empty space where you want new gems. And here's the kicker: even if you get that car or take that trip, the happiness is often short-lived. It's called the Honic Treadmill. You get what you want and feel great for a bit, but soon enough, you're chasing the next big thing. It's a cycle of temporary highs and constant craving for more. Now that we better understand the comparison trap, let's delve into how social media exacerbates this issue. With social media dominating our lives, it's never been easier or more tempting to show off what we have. The rise of influencers has made the comparison for well-crafted, envy-inducing photos even fiercer. But let's be honest, it's not just influencers playing this game. We're all guilty of keeping up appearances, especially online. Think about it. Would you rather share your fancy dinner or your growing piles of credit card bills? Naturally, we prefer to flaunt our successes, not our struggles. So it's easy to fall into the trap of believing everyone else has more money because all you see are the highlights: the lavish dinners, exotic vacations, and shiny new cars. But let's dig a little deeper. What's behind those polished social media posts? Often, it's a different story. When you visit someone's immaculate home, you don't just see the hours of cleaning or the stress over the mortgage. You just see the surface, the illusion of perfection. As social creatures, we care a lot about how others see us. That's why we put so much effort into maintaining appearances. Sometimes giving off the illusion of wealth feels more important than actually being wealthy. If people think you're doing well, isn't that what matters? Advertising feeds into this mindset too. We're constantly bombarded with ads telling us that wealth equals happiness. Buy this watch, drive this car, and you've made it. But that's just another layer of the illusion. Having understood the role of social media in keeping up appearances, let's explore another key factor: credit card debt. Credit card debt is more common than you might think. According to Bankrate, about 1/3 of Americans carry credit card balances. Surprisingly, many aren't too worried about it. For some, credit card debt feels like free money, charges they don't really consider needing to pay back. Not everyone is comfortable with the idea of carrying credit card debt. Many find it perfectly acceptable, as long as they can make the minimum payment each month. But here's the catch: with interest rates often between 20% and 30%, paying off that balance can take years. This mindset aligns with a live-for-today mentality, where the focus is on immediate gratification rather than long-term financial health. When those minimum payments become too much to handle, and the monthly interest starts draining your budget, the situation becomes critical. Just because some people seem comfortable stacking up debt monthly doesn't mean they're financially secure. The reality is often far from the polished image they present. Now, let's shift our focus to another hidden factor: financial aid from family. According to a recent study by Merrill Lynch and AgeWave, 79% of parents are providing financial assistance to their children. This is the highest it's ever been in US history, indicating that more people than you may realize are getting help with money. In dollars, over $500 billion is being transferred from parents to children in the US annually. We live in an era where parents invest more heavily in their kids than ever. The study reveals some striking details. About 72% of parents said they put their children's financial interests before their own, and 63% admitted to sacrificing personal financial security to assist their kids. Roughly 25% even said they'd be willing to take on new debt or borrow from retirement accounts to provide financial support. Interestingly, most of this money goes to children who aren't living at home. While many millennials have moved back with their parents, often called boomerang kids, only about 20% of that $500 billion goes to them. On average, kids who aren't at home receive about $7,000 per year to help cover various bills and expenses. Imagine if you had money coming in from your parents. What if your rent was taken care of, or your utilities were no longer hanging over your head? Where would all that extra cash go? Chances are you spend it on a nicer TV or a mini tropical vacation, which you'd then share on social media. When you consider how many people are still getting financial aid from their parents, it's easier to understand why it appears that they have more than you. If you were in the same position, your circumstances would also improve. Now, have you ever wondered what people do outside of their regular jobs to afford their lifestyle? It might seem like your coworkers are doing much better than you financially, living carefree lives filled with parties, travel, and shopping. But have you ever wondered how they spend their time outside of work? While their 9-to-5 income might seem to be similar to yours, that doesn't mean it's their only source of income. A study by Bankrate found that a surprising 39% of Americans have a side hustle, earning an average of $800 monthly. Interestingly, only a fraction of these people with side hustles actually need the extra money for everyday expenses. While all they do might be to party, consider that they might be heading home from the office only to start working in another capacity. So when you see your coworkers seemingly living it up, remember there might be more to their story. They could be putting in extra hours on a side gig that boosts their income and allows them to afford a more lavish lifestyle. Moving on from side hustles, let's discuss selective memory and how it affects our perception. Another reason why it's easy to believe everyone else has more money than you is because you're not getting the whole picture. We've already discussed how people often try to present the illusion of wealth, but there's another side to this. You might not be paying close attention. Often, you may be bundling different items together without realizing it. One friend went to Hawaii, another bought a new car. On TV, you see working class people drop thousands on a wedding dress, and you hear about someone losing a $10,000 necklace. Individually, you don't know what each person is doing to come by these things or the sacrifices made to get them. Instead, you remember the expensive items or make assumptions about their cost. What if that vacation was cheaper than you thought? Overall, you start bundling these successes together to paint a picture of wealth shared by everyone except you. This selective memory skews your perception, making it seem like everyone is better off than they really are. But how can you ensure you're focusing on your financial success instead of getting caught up in comparisons and feeling like everyone else has more than you? Looking at how well other people are doing can become a toxic habit. It makes you feel left out and drives you to chase success, sometimes at the expense of your financial health. Instead, try these simple tips to shift your perspective and appreciate how well you're really doing. First, consider how much time you spend on social media. If you spend hours every day looking at meticulously crafted photos, it's easy to feel the urge to be part of the action. Start tracking your social media usage and see how much you can cut down. Research shows the average person spends about 142 minutes daily on social media. Try cutting that in half and see how you feel afterwards. Next, stop comparing your money to everyone else's. When you do, you focus less on how much you have and more on how to keep up, which can be dangerous and lead to massive debt. Instead, draft a budget, look at your income and expenses, and identify where you can make changes and cuts. Often, we don't fully understand our personal cash flow, putting us in a worsening situation. Taking a step back can help you prioritize your money, making ignoring what others are doing easier. Think about how other people are living and spending money. What is one thing you wish you could do more? Is it a shopping spree at a fancy retailer or a dream vacation? Sit down and consider what matters most to you and what makes you most envious. Once you figure that out, set a goal. If you want expensive jewelry, find out the cost of certain pieces and start saving. The same goes for traveling or any other desire. Focusing on a specific goal keeps you motivated and makes it easier to make necessary sacrifices to reach that objective sooner. Instead of eating out 4 times a week, start cooking at home more often to save extra cash. By shifting your focus from others to your own goals and cutting down on social media, you can appreciate your financial situation and make strides towards what truly matters to you. Now, here's something to think about. If you could change one financial habit to improve your situation, what would it be? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.